we're looking at a crater that used to hold the ginger root. So this is a huge, massive ginger. It's about, 2 feet wide, 1.5 feet wide, and it has lots of ginger. So right there it has kind of like ginger shoots and ginger right there. And this one is 3 years old, but in the ground it's been there for 2 seasons, but in a pot it was in there for about 2 seasons, or 1 or 2 seasons. Lots and lots more. So I dug it halfway out, but I couldn't get it out, and my hubby came out and pulled it out for me. And next I'm gonna try to separate all these, and then I'm going to freeze some and other things to preserve it so I can use. And then over here there is a small little ginger that I'm going to put into, I'm going to preserve it so I could grow it next year possibly. And here as well, those can be used. And some of these shoots are nice and green and possibly can be used if they're not too tough. So putting them in the ground allows them to grow much larger and more robust than if they're in pots. But in the future, to make it easier for harvesting, I'm going to grow them in pots. And so, as like I said, we've been trying to clear this whole area so that we can move the chicken coop and run over here. Eventually we're going to clear out these 2 beds, wooden beds. And I'm waiting for the vine on this watermelon to dry up. But so long as it's green, I'm leaving it in. But the nights are cooling, and usually I get up at 5 in the morning and I come out here and do all my gardening chores. But because it's been getting, the light comes out at around 6:30ish, then I have to come out later. And it's really, really frigid, really cold. So I tend not to come out even at 6:30. I wait till the sun comes out a little bit so it'll be warmer. And the plus side is there aren't as many mosquitoes. So there's pros and cons to all of it. So pretty soon I have to do a whole bunch of cleaning still. Not sure on the, I think we have to remove the loquat, or we put the coop right next to it. And this is a stonefruit that volunteered. And the reason why we haven't removed these beds is because these little tomatoes are still producing. And in a little bit, after I pull out the watermelon, I'm going to also harvest all these soils because they're pretty good for when I would like to make a new garden bed. And so the chickens will be in that type of soil, the original dirt that was deep down below, and they'll just poop in it and make it nice, and it'll be good material for them to dust bathe in. And that's it for now. See you in the next one. And I cut all the tops, the leafy parts of the ginger, and just threw them along the trails, chop and dropping them. Here's more of the chop and drop of the ginger and canna leaves along the, so things won't dig it up mostly. There are lots of raccoons and possums that want to dig up the soil to eat the grubs and worms and stuff underneath, so we're just kind of keeping the dirt moist and protecting it from, because we want it no dig. We don't want weeds to come up. So this is going to help with our purpose. This is really cool. We have some mums coming back, and they're a pretty color. And they also have like something like permethrin or something that it's a scent that a lot of insects don't like. So that's kind of what we're doing, is growing it everywhere to attract pollinators and to detract pests. And then our greens are growing pretty well. They are getting some kind of bug damage. Probably some worms are eating them up. So who knows how much we can get. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a bed prepared to grow them in, so I grew them directly in the ground. So if it isn't worms, then it's raccoons and stuff trying to get at our foods. It's quite annoying. Guys, I broke down the ginger to about these many, and much of the stalks are on the surface of the ground. I kept some because I'm going to cut it, because this part's sturdy, so I'm going to be cutting it off after I wash it preliminarily a couple times to get the dirt off. Then I'll work on it inside. Right now I have it in my outdoor sink. But that's quite a bit of ginger. I mean, and if it's kind of tough, you can kind of blend it down to a powder. Hi friends, so I've chopped and dropped the ginger and canna leaves here, all along there. And it's just to keep the moisture in, and also to keep critters from digging in the soil there. And my Mexican lime tree that was loaded, all the limes are turning yellowish, and I guess this is a season when it has to come down. It's too cold for it, so it's time to harvest all these limes. Here are some of the limes, and I believe they're seedless, and I can squeeze them into my tea and other foods. So here I've got some basil, Thai basil. A beautiful zinnia. Oh my goodness, that basil is so fragrant. And I have some pineapple sage coming up, blooming. A cluster of mums that are doing really nicely. This is the blooming time, it's fall mums. The zinnias came back. Look at this huge bloom. It's enormous. That's really pretty, the center. I didn't see these for a couple days. I've been watering my plants every other day, or every 2 days, or 3 days. So yeah. So now commences the cooler weather. The days are going to be in the 70s, the nights are going to be in the 50s and 40s. From what it says, but the last of my little pear tomatoes have ripened, and there's a cluster here and there, so that's exciting. Pretty soon I will have to pull this out. Hi folks, so I have to take out these 2 wooden beds here, and in order to do that I have to pull out all the tomatoes that I planted in there about 2 months ago, And even though it's November, it still has blooms, and it has these beautiful tomatoes that have, it's lighter on the bottom and then it has like a green top. It's really pretty. And there are several of them on here. And that is the round variety. It'll turn red when it's mature. And then I have the grape variety. I mean the pear-shaped variety. So I have two varieties here. The pear-shaped ones that turn yellow. And then these are the red ones. So they're kind of pale green and then they have a red top. I mean a green top, and then when they mature, they turn red. Like that one. But it's pretty unique because I never noticed that they're so green on top. It's like a marble. It's really pretty. So anyhow, I have to clean out this whole bed here of all these and these tomatoes, and pull out these two garden beds, and then I'm gonna move the chickens over to this area here. I still have to clear out this climbing aloe. I already cleared out the other aloe, and we measured it out. We might have to move out this loquat, or we'll let it grow and just put the coop and run adjacent right next to it, right up against it. So we haven't decided yet, because this is now 4 years old, so 4.5 years old, so we don't really want to dig it up. And now it suffered from the summer sun. It burnt the leaves quite a bit, and however it's starting to have new growth, so it's really doing fantastic, and it'd be sad to kill it if we pull it out. We already transplanted this unknown stonefruit, the volunteer stonefruit, into this pot, moved it way over here. So it's already losing a ton of leaves, as it does in the winter, but hopefully it'll survive because we had to pull it out at this time of the year. So the chickens are now moved, the whole coop and apparatus. The chicken coop's been cleaned. And they're digging around in their new soil. So it's nice and clean. So where they were, it's chock full of feathers because they were molting, lots of debris. I put a lot of branches to the sides of the run so that things wouldn't get into the chicken coop. I put a lot of things so that things won't get into the chicken coop and kill my chickens. So it looks very, very dirty. So I'm going to have to till all this soil and make an area for this stuff to compost down, and then an area for my garden. So back here next to the run, There is some space. We were going to put it up against the wall, but when my husband was trying to dig up this loquat tree that's nearly 4 years old, its root ball system is very deep. So he decided to not pull it out just yet. So eventually he would like to move the chicken run and coop over to the wall and then build out the chicken run so that it'll be twice as large, and they will be able to rummage around and have more room to move about.